So here's the thing, right? Mindset shifts have to be intentional. Okay.
Yo, 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 what's up, good people? It's your girl, Mia. Jesus is showing out, so the doctor is in. Hello, 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 and welcome to Private Practice with your host, Dr. Mia. Let's get it.
Yo, what's up, good people? It's your girl Mia. Jesus is showing out, so the doctor is in. Hello, hello, hello. Listen, y'all. I don't know why, baby. The enemy is on that with me today because they do not want me to get this message out. So here's the thing, right? Mindset shifts have to be intentional. Okay. And when I say intentional, I mean when you set yourself up like, okay, I need to change, say my perspective. I need to change my perspective of everything I say. I see, say, hear, feel, all that. When you set yourself up to make that shift, baby, it has to be intentional. Like writing for me has shifted tremendously. Like I have two journals, right? One is for instruction outside to go people, one is for instruction inside. So today I was talking to the Lord today, and before I could even get into it, he was like, first let's get your flesh out the way. Let's get your flesh out the way. What has changed? Right? What has changed? I said nothing. As soon and even before I can get the nothing out, he started literally showing me everything to change. And then he checked me. He's like, "You saying nothing because that list is so long, you don't feel like writing it down." Because the truth of the matter is, has my external circumstances changed? Like everything that's attached to the world, has that changed? Absolutely not. As y'all can see, I'm still in this office. It's before 2 p.m., so I still ain't got no job. You know what I'm saying? What else hasn't changed? Clearly my bank account, you know what I'm saying? All of those situations have not changed. However, what has changed internally within me and my family, my body, right? My husband, my kids, baby, everything. A lot of things have changed. All of our perspectives have been gradually shifting in another direction. And it's crazy. Like, it's crazy because, like, for me, right? When people call me Doc, I used to get uncomfortable. They'd be like, "What's up, Doc?" You know what I'm saying? And they call me Doc. Here's the thing. When the spirit speaks, listen. That's the best thing I can tell you. When the spirit speaks, listen. When they called me Doc, that was the Lord called. Like, that's your name. When you know that in the Bible where it says he will call you out by name, and the only people who that will know that name is you and him. When people call you that name, it's gonna make you uncomfortable because that's your new assignment. Come on, that is your new assignment, right? So, Doc. So once I shifted my perspective from what the world classified as a doctor and what the book classifies as a doctor. And again, nobody else is gonna understand. Even the way you read the Bible is gonna be different. Because everybody's job, the way you read and understand the Bible, it pertains to your assignment. Okay? It pertains to your assignment, whatever you were chosen to do. So as you read, the way you understand will be applicable to your job description that you are walking into. All right. It's going to be again, how does that align with Jesus, right? It's going to be a characteristic that he held. So the scripture for me that sticks out a lot is Romans 12, I beseech ye, therefore, brethren, to make your body a living sacrifice, for that is your reasonable service. That's how he called me. He called me through Romans 12, 1 and 2. I beseech ye, therefore, brethren, to make your bodies a living sacrifice, for that is your reasonable service. And be ye not conformed, but be ye transformed by the renewing of your mind, right? So that's how he called me. Then that was the seed. Then the water was, physician, heal thyself, and what you've done here, go and do in Capernaum, right? So he called me to heal myself. And once I healed myself, I was then able to help other people heal themselves. Keep in mind, I'm not the healer. God is the healer. I just went through the process so I can plant seeds and water whatever process he's trying to take you through to get your healing, correct? And then he provides the increase, which is the fruit for the other people, the healing that he provides for them. For me, it's the sustenance and this, continued healing and recovery of me, in addition to, other things. But I digress. So with that, all that being said, now he's transitioning me out of heart healing and into mind healing. Baby, listen, because the woman is the heart of the family. Okay, where did she come from? The chest, correct? She came from the chest. She came from the chest of man. So the woman is the heart of the family. So it's a lot easier for us to heal our hearts than it is to heal our minds. So that's what, as a woman, that's your called profession. Your chosen profession is going to be the one that challenges you the most, which is, baby, here for women. Okay, now that you've healed your heart, we got to get this mind disciplined and focused. Okay, disciplined and focused. So in order to get your mind disciplined and focused, you got to change the way you use these eyeballs, these ears, everything. You got to change the way you use them, right? Because that's what feeds your brain, your eyes and your ears. Okay, so now, how did I come up to this? How did I come to this realization? So let's go back to the journal entry. So once I shifted my perspective from my external circumstances and into my internal shift, baby, mind blown. Do you understand? Mind blown. So I'm like, okay, I am literally walking in my profession, correct? The Lord is shifting my husband. He's telling me about things that he's purging and he's, over and he's not dealing with. My youngest son is saying the same thing. My oldest son, baby, okay, shifting and shedding. And this just happened yesterday. All three of them, my husband, my oldest son, and my youngest son, in that order, from my oldest to youngest, came to me and was talking to me about mental shifts that were taking place. And I'm like, okay, all right, Lord, I see what you're doing. And then what was the nail in the coffin today, right? Right before I got started and I was up online, posting my content for the podcast. So again, for TikTok, y'all getting here first. YouTube, y'all ain't gonna get this until next week. So it's gonna be September when y'all get this message. But I was like, what am I going to cook for dinner? Again, something as simple as what am I going to cook for dinner? So in my mind, I'm like, okay, my husband has been, talking about red meatloaf and, he wants red meatloaf. And again, I can make red meatloaf, but making red meatloaf will require me to go to the store, right? Do I mind going to the store? No. To the store. However, I did not feel like going to the store, right? So as soon as I finished doing what God called me to do today, right? Which was, make sure I'm dropping my content, make sure I'm uploading stuff. As soon as I was done and I went in the kitchen to look at the ground beef, he gave me a brand new recipe. Come on, listen. A brand new recipe. Now, it's an addition to a recipe that I created before because I was doing twice baked potatoes, right? Come on. And I'm going to try to record it for y'all later, baby, because y'all going to want to clock it. Because I got a feeling, I know it's going to be good. I know it's going to be good, okay? So I made twice baked potatoes a while back. And it was my first time. And I used the chive and onion cream cheese, butter, shredded cheese. I think I just put the shredded cheese on top, but I put the cream cheese in the potato. Baby, listen, I baked them potatoes. I pulled the guts of the potato out. I put the cream cheese in there and some butter, I believe. And I just whipped that thing. You know what I'm saying? I just whipped that thing, put them back in there, put some shredded cheese on top. Boom. So guess what? We about to provide increase to that recipe. So instead of me making meatloaf, I'm going to make Philly steak double baked potatoes. Listen, and I know y'all like, that is simple. How is that even an increase? Because, like I said, how did I get from making old school meatloaf with red sauce on top, because that's what my husband wanted, to expanding it to something we all like, which is we all like Philly steaks. We all like potatoes. We definitely loved the twice baked potatoes. So why not combine the two? Come on, Jesus. What are you doing? That's a simple that is how spiritual shifts work. That is how spiritual mind shifts work. It starts with first something small like a baked potato or meatloaf, right? Then it goes a little higher. Okay, well, Philly steak and fries. What's a way that we can combine, you know meatloaf and mashed potatoes and Philly steak and French fries? Well, the one aligning thing that does not really have to change is the potato. It's just what you're doing with the potato. So we're kind of mashing, we're not frying, and we're gonna bake that thing, and we're gonna mix that baked potato minus the red sauce. We don't have to use the red sauce. It's not mandatory. You know what I'm saying? We can have it, we cannot. You know what I mean? But the short of the short is this: if you're not inspired, it's because you're in your way. And I know you feel like that came out of nowhere, but if you're not hopeful and having faith, it's because you're in your way. And when I say you, it means whatever fleshly focus that you have, whatever worldly focus that you have, whatever lustful focus that you have is in the way of you seeing what God is giving you. Okay? Again, if creativity, because that's for me, if creativity is something that drives you, that thrives you, like seeing it gives you chills, then because right now, if you're listening to this video, that means your creativity is probably shot. And at one point, you could wake up and have a whole, like my husband like to say, in the theater of your mind, you got a whole movie sequence thing happening, right? You just got all kind of ideas. And as you shifted your focus from what the Lord was calling you up in, you started focusing more on what you were in. Meaning wherever you working, wherever your relationship status and all that stuff. When you shift to the things that bring you joy, and you've transformed those things into things that reach God's children and bring them to him, you'll start to notice when your ability to operate in that freely is starting to diminish, and then the overall ability to do it is starting to diminish. And that's because the woes of this world is blinding your sight of the path that God has laid and is laying and will continue to lay before you. So I'm saying all that to say, shift your focus. In order to shift your perspective, you have to shift your focus first. Let me say it again. In order to shift your perspective, you have to shift your focus first. What are you focused on? Are you focused on tangible gain? Are you focused on worldly gain? Are you focused on popularity? Are you focused on how many M's is in your bank account? What are you focused on? Or are you focused on what gives you chills? Are you focused on what provides healing? Are you focused on what is in you to do that's fulfilling, that gives you life? Okay, that gives you life. It's literally giving you life. Like, you could watch, baby, when I watch them dancing videos, the chills I get, and I don't care, they can be twerking, whirling, praise dancing, baby, any type of dance, any type of singing, any type of art, creativity, culinary, all of it, baby, gives me life. Do you understand what I'm telling you? That's how he calls and chooses you. But as you shift your focus from those things that are in you to do and shift it into things that provide in your mind, provide for you, there goes your hope. There goes your faith. There goes your trust. There goes your belief. Now, many of us are going to be too afraid to make that shift, because especially in the world right now, what we make, how much money we make, strongly controls what we focus on. And God never meant for that to be the case. So I encourage you to shift your focus. Okay? And before you can have a mindset shift, have a perspective shift, have a profession shift, you got to have a focus shift and be disciplined in that focus shift. Be intentional in that focus shift. But the discipline and focus are two things. Now with the discipline, and I'm gonna try to keep this short. Where we at? I don't know how much time we've been on here, but 15 minutes. Okay, I'm not gonna try to go over 5 more minutes. With discipline with spiritual maturity and assignment is not like discipline with worldly things or fleshly things. With spiritual maturity looks more like you and God agreed on some things. Okay? They don't want you to believe that, because even that woman with that 17-year issue, she was healed according to her faith, correct? So even though nothing in your life is pointing to what you and God agreed on, does not mean he changed his mind. It just means you need to, again, be disciplined in sticking to your faith, trust, belief, and hope that y'all, discussed and what y'all agreed on, and seek him through that path. Right? So your discipline is, if he promised you something, only you and him know. Because when you get to this stage in your spiritual journey with God, it's going to be things that only you and him are going to know and understand. He's going to reveal some things to you that ain't nobody else going to believe. And you can tell him all day long. That's between you and him, whether you're supposed to tell him or not. But as far as them seeing the path that he's laying out in front of you for it, that's only you the only one that's going to be able to see that. Okay? That's number one. So understand that. Don't frustrate yourself out here trying to sing it from the rooftops, thinking everybody's going to see what he's showing you. That's not how it works. Everybody sees God moving different, and it's a reason for that, because he don't want us leaning on our own understanding nor the understanding of other human beings. So if he wants us to only lean on his understanding and how he's training us up in the way that we should go so we don't depart from it, then you got to stop sharing things with them that they will not understand, because then they're going to think you crazy. Then you're going to own that, and now you off. Now you out of discipline, you out of focus, you out of, you just all the way out of line. Some things you can share, which is your testimony, which is parts of the journey that you've overcome. However, if you have not reached your promised land yet, you have not crossed the River Jordan. You may be in the wilderness and you didn't cross the Red Sea, but baby, Jordan is right there, and you ain't got to cross it yet. You can't talk about that. You can talk about the wilderness, but baby, you can't talk about Jordan because you ain't crossed Jordan yet, Joshua. Okay? Chill out. All right? So, he's going to show you some things about your path, and only you and him are going to understand it. You have to stay disciplined to what he's showing you. And you literally have to wake up every day at like, here am I, Lord. What would you have me do today? Don't talk about tomorrow. Don't talk about a year from now. Again, he already gave you the goal. He already told you the plan, but he is the creator of the path. And when you try to control that or get distracted from that or lose focus from that and ain't disciplined to be seeking him through it, you're going to be out of alignment. So that I say this: shift your focus from your worldly, fleshly needs, wants, whatever, and shift it to your internal needs, wants, and things of that nature. And also be disciplined to the promise that God made to you. Be disciplined to the promise that God made to you. Let him provide the increase.
Grace and peace, physicians. If you enjoyed the vibe, click subscribe. Peace.